Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Convo presented by Leadership Indianapolis. I am Ebony Chappelle, Manager of Programs and Communications, and today I am talking with Ron Anderson of Box Jobs. Hi, Ron, how are you?
Hi, Ebony. I'm just fine. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely, you're welcome. Tell us a little bit about Box Jobs and what you all do in the community.
Well, I can do that. Yeah, box jobs is really near and dear to our heart, especially Cameron's because he's the thought process in this whole thing. But it probably derives from me working in a prison system for 32 years. I was a warden for 15, and we lived on ground, so he got a chance to see some of the rehabilitative efforts of the offenders, at Michigan City and at Pendleton and places like that. And it became close to his heart to help those guys and gals so that when they get out, they could have some type of resource, some type of thing to go to so they don't reoffend. So,
Mhm.
so formally, we put together box jobs for primarily just to help people with past criminal histories. However, we're not limited just to those. The resources that we try to bring, are the education resources, job training skills. We're trying to work on housing with them through Willer's Mission and other things, so that when they do get out, there is a place that they can go and they don't still have to hang out in the streets and be homeless and those kinds of things or reoffend. So it all started about a year ago, and we're still putting together our partners with it. And this is a pleasure to do this because I'm sure this will help.
Awesome. You're very welcome. So that's great that you guys are doing that type of work. I know that Cameron, I've seen him out in the community, your son, and the work that he's doing around COVID with making sure that people have access to testing is super important, especially in communities of color, because we disproportionately are impacted by getting the virus and then also succumbing to it as well. So tell us a little bit about those efforts around testing.
Yeah, we've so far we've secured three different places. We did it at three different churches. Uh, we partnered with the health department, the state health department actually, and some local churches, to provide the COVID testing for mainly inner city people of color, folks that don't have to register in advance, didn't have to pay anything, because we just want to make sure that people know that they're safe. Whether they have the virus or they don't have the virus. And we also did the antigen testing to see if you've had it before. So all those things, I think, really helped the community. I know it helped the state a lot doing these things, because that was three places that they could go someplace else while we were working with the health department with those. And a lot of people. I mean, we've had 600 go through at one place, 300 at another, 500 at another. So, and this was back in April. So a lot of things have happened since then. Now it seems like everybody's doing the COVID testing, which I hope we were like pioneers for all of that. And so people are now finding out if they're safer or not.
Yeah, yeah. And it's really interesting how that works out, when it comes to providing people access to things is so incredibly helpful. And it's something so simple that I think a lot of people take for granted is having access to things like testing, or even, for ex-offenders having access to resources when they come out of the system to rebuild their lives. That takes a lot of leadership and a lot of initiative, and a lot of teamwork to make happen. As a leader, what are some of the lessons that you've learned along the way that help inform how you operate now?
Well, when you're talking particularly about the people with past criminal history, they if someone doesn't step forward and help them, because when I was in the Department of Correction, it was like $15,000 annually to house an offender. I think now it's up around 20 or 25,000, and those are taxpayer dollars. But besides the money, if we don't continue to try to help somebody in there so that they don't reoffend, then all we're going to do is just continue to, it's going to be a revolving door. Just going to continue to lock people up, let people out, lock people up, and hopefully with some of the efforts that we're doing with Box Job, especially when it comes to renovating areas like 46218 and that kind of stuff, we can help revitalize the neighborhood. Maybe people will feel a little bit better about themselves and not be so angry and less likely to pull out a gun or pull out a knife or rob somebody. So that's kind of our focus in.
Right. What are you all looking for right now in terms of new board members?
Okay, we're needing somebody for education because we're finding out that there's a lot of 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds that's either been in detention facilities or they just dropped out of high school, and those kids, I call them kids, but those kids need, I think, some kind of resource so they can get their high school diplomas or get their GEDs and be on their way to being successful versus trying to hustle here and hustle there to get some money. So one of the partners that we're definitely looking for board members is somebody for education, because education I think is important. The other one is someone that we've already talked to and we're in negotiations with is the job training skill. So we've been working with Goodwill on those kind of things, and we need to make sure that we have somebody on the board that that's established, that's a go-getter when it comes to, to putting people in places that they can get trained and those kind of things. I've been talking with the Department of Correction, Ms. Sutton, so that we can get involved with the next level jobs where they can get job training and those kind of things. So people like that, so that we can have a well-rounded board so that we can continue to do our business.
Great, great. Well, best of luck to you all in the future with everything that you have going on. And thank you for being on the Convo.